Today we're taking a very special look at Vanguard for the second time. It's my first impressions of the game going away and having a lot of bug fixes and things updated, and actually taking our final look at it before release, I would imagine. This is a sponsored video, but I'm in no way obligated to say or do anything against my will. So I've got a few bullet points to hit. We're going to jump in, see if the game's actually fun, worth playing, is it worth your time, because EVE is very niche. And I believe that, someone like myself wouldn't play EVE necessarily, but I would play Vanguard. As long as it's not as empty and as barren as it was on our first playtest. That was a very bare bones version of Vanguard we played. I'm hoping this one has got a little bit more flavour. So that being said, we're going to be jumping in today. So thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your time. And thank you for the developers for reaching out and hitting us up with the opportunity to test your game. But we had a very mixed review on the first time we played it, so I'm hoping this one's a bit more of a positive, a bit more of a straightforward episode. If you're watching on YouTube on a rerun, definitely leave a like, because if you want to see some more Vanguard, you want to see maybe even me struggle to play EVE, then hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Would you play this game? Are you interested in this game? Are you an EVE player? And would you go from EVE to something like this as a nice casual break, something new to the EVE universe? See if the developers actually read those comments and take your feedback on point. Links in the description as always, and let's get into it. So we've got Vanguard sees you drop onto a planet with a squad of up to 3 and take on contracts that give you objectives. Those objectives are scavenging and grabbing materials, claiming drop zones full of loot, and destroying targets in and around the world, which sounds pretty good. So let's see what we've got going on. So we've got deployment, we've got the fitting room, which is our guns and stuff. They do have appearance now. We do have a purple skin, which is awesome. It's called the Sebastio. I love games that just put stuff in there I can't pronounce. Like the new Lord of the Rings is called something I cannot pronounce. Just call it a blast rifle. Do you know what I mean? That's fine. We like blast rifles. Easy to pronounce. You can say it when you've had a few drinks. Any issues or glitches or bugs I'm going to be leaving in the video. It's not to be said that we're going to see any, but if we do, I feel it's important to leave, my first impressions pretty much intact when a game is this early in development. But they're doing very well so far. It's a pre-alpha, remember, so it's like proper early, and there's a lot of development on the back end going on. They seem to be quite open to suggestions and stuff, so we want to keep on pumping some info at these guys, and hopefully some of it sticks. Again, leave comments down below if you're watching up a rerun, because you might get a developer in the comments. Current location is Fulcrum. Surely they should give me more information than that. You're telling me that there's no enemies and you don't really know much. They're both pretty much the same. Let's jump in. The problem with the EVE team that I have found, just as a casual gamer coming into the EVE universe, and I haven't actually gone into the EVE universe yet fully because it scares me, and it scares a lot of casual players to get involved in something that is a space MMO. Like, that is just time consuming as hell. It's the terminology, the world, everything you have to learn to understand the economics, the groundbreaking technologies they've implemented, and they are very good. It's one of the biggest MMOs of all time from what I understand, and has had some of the biggest MMO large-scale battles of all time in EVE. But it's still not something that draws me in or wants me to go and investigate EVE Online, because there's too much going on there now for me to even try to feel like I can dent anything. It's not user friendly, it's not new beginner friendly. Now Vanguard, I was kind of hoping would be the salt for my wound as such, that I can't get involved in EVE, but maybe I can get involved in Vanguard. It is a lot more accessible, it is better for beginners, and it is a nicer experience as a beginner casual gamer if you just want to play a first person shooter that's set in space. But then again, you've got to look at something like Halo as an alternative. So what stops you playing Halo and makes you go play Vanguard? And today I'm hoping that we can see enough changes that I can actually answer that question, because I asked that question to myself. What's going to make me want to pick up Vanguard and install an actual new launcher and a whole bunch of gigabytes of data? What's going to draw people in? So this is what I'm looking at today. I'm looking at, can we improve the user experience going forwards? Can we get new players involved? And casual gamers alike is pretty much where they're aiming with this game. Like, EVE fans will automatically take to it like duck to water because it's part of their universe. Like, getting new players to adopt the EVE universe and start learning about some of the laws and the things in it, I feel like is the challenge that this company at the moment is facing. It's not an easy challenge, if no one's ever watched Star Wars and you're trying to explain Star Wars to them and get them into Star Wars, like, that's a tough sell to a newbie, to a youngster, to the next generation of gamers. So I'm really in a good mood today, and I'm really excited for Vanguard to show me some the goodness that it has to offer. Like I say, in the original test we did, it was very much empty. The tasks you do that are the selling point of the game as well, by the way, were kind of mundane. They're not great. They kind of entertain you for the first 3 or 4 matches. So I'm hoping they can put some longevity into the game eventually. This map is big. Like, that is a big playground right now. Are you excited? Let's go. I mean, there's no excuse for this. They've just got floating stuff. Look, it is pre-alpha, so it's going to have optimization issues. I remember now. I loved the weather effects in this game. The shine on the rocks, the rain and the lightning were just like, the sound effects are on point as well. What was he thinking? Oh, he's gonna steal your shit. Bro, do you know what I edge towards doing that this game doesn't have is jetpack. Like, I jump and I want to double jump and have like a little booster. It would make the ergonomic of running around and exploration a little bit more simpler, a little bit more enjoyable, just to have that little jetpack boost. Right, so now you can see the full effects. Look, the steam, the rain, everything's looking really good. I have to get used to that. Hang on, I'm out of ammo. Oh, what good is that? Learning curve, boys. I don't really like the attachment system. I like the fact you can have attachments. I don't like the way it's laid out. Again, it's not really user friendly. It's not beginner friendly. It definitely needs more of an instant visual color recommendation. So if I've got 3 types of sights, a good one and one's like a basic common, you know, you need to have like a very big visual aspect to that where I can just see, oh, they're common. I'll put those on while I'm learning, keep my purples, and anything I pick up, you know, that's worth anything later. I don't want to say it, but like Fortnite-esque visuals, you know, so that you can just instantly drag and drop stuff without thinking about it too much. Okay, that doesn't work very well. You have to kind of go up to it, give it a pause, and then hold E. Ooh, that changed the view, didn't it? Look. I don't know if that's a glitch or not. That kind of looks like the game's broken now. Like right here, I want to boost jump. I want to be able to fly up in the air like a lunatic. This is pretty. Look at this. Come on. Like, this is why I would play the game. Visually, if you could give me more of this in more areas. Like, if you can give me random planets with random environments that I never know what I'm going to get until I've dropped on it. Like the snow planet, you know, lava planets. Really enthralling, interesting planets. Again, I really want to boost. Like, the run speed is fine. Ooh, okay. That's like dry ice. I just took damage on my shield from that. It is pretty, like, to look at. The game solid. You know, there's a lot of popping when you first start, but once them textures are popped in, it's really nice to look at. Again, this setting in like, ooh. This setting in an alien game would be like really good. Okay, they're down. It's running real sluggish on the shooting for some reason. Maybe it's just like that. Like a specific place you have to point. Like there, it's not working. Got to go a bit closer. I'd like the radius of that, and I think I said this on the early beta as well. The radius needs to be a lot bigger on picking items up. I want to be able to do this and just hit E and grab everything as I'm running over them. Why would you not want to grab everything when you've got 32 slots? And the idea in the game is to loot. I really don't like that scope. It feels broken. There you go. Put that one back on. It's very slow to just gather the simplest of things. And you don't have time. This is the thing that bothers me about this game. If you're on a map with human players that are trying to kill you and loot themselves, I wouldn't have time to sit around trying to line my E button up before I get shot in the back by a sniper or a team. And therefore, your players are going to get killed quicker than they're going to have fun, because you haven't made the game snappy and accessible enough. It has to be a lot more arcadey. The boxes themselves, you know, the fact they go black once you've emptied them, the fact that the items go into your inventory, which you can then check with I, is all very good. Like, I like the way that's done. Like, if I jump off of here, I want to go boom, boom,
glide.
Yeah, I want to be able to glide to the ground, just to that smoothness of movement. Ooh. Up. So we're on a bot stage right now, and I'm just going around grabbing loot. Oh shit. Boom. Okay, I feel like that got fun. Do you know what I mean? That was funner than the original way of doing it. I think you had to do 4 corners maybe, decrypt the code. So we've got 9. Again, this takes time, but this is understandably why it takes time. It's because it's like a little mini game where you're trying to decrypt the code and type it in. You could get shot in the back. It's a risk and reward thing. You know, like I say, what's going to stop me playing Halo and come to this? And that's what I'm looking for today. What is the selling point of this over Halo? Now, I'm sure the guys in the team can tell me what their thinking is, but that's not necessarily what the masses are thinking. And I tend to be somewhere in the middle, where I like a good challenge and I like quiet games where you sink a lot of time and effort into, as in MMOs and RPGs and survival games. But at the same time, I also like to go ham with a bit of Call of Duty. That's what I'm looking for today. I'm looking for a mishmash of the two that is so good that you have to play it. And that's what I'm hoping this game can become. It's something that is set in space, you know, that has the Eve world around it, but it's a sugar coat into an awesome first-person shooter. Instead of being Eve first, and then we've got like this generic first-person shooter that nobody wants to play. But these are good additions. I like this. The visuals have definitely improved. Oh, don't need to hit me on the bonds. Okay, we're in. Now, what are these things? Oh, buddy. Do you know what? This mode with bots is more fun to me than the online prospect of an online shooter. If this could be adapted to have NPCs, voice acting, things in the world to interact with, I would much rather play a bot version of this game than the online shooter, but have the online mode as you know, a tag-on mode rather than being the main event. I feel like the bot mode is actually quite fun. I enjoy scavenging, going out looking for loot, grabbing it, you know, doing these little tasks to grab loot before being attacked by bots. There we go, grab some of these. The mini tasks so far, the added additions are really good. And again, if I was playing this bots mode, I would like it to become a little bit more linear, where I'm like, say I'm in this area, I'm going to kill everyone and I'm going to loot. And then I'm going to have a nice little break, say like a little sort of 2-minute walk over here. Oh no, look, under that tunnel, there's another bunch of bots and another little base that I have to raid. And do it that way. And then maybe have some voice acting. Maybe the bad guys are shouting something at ya, even if it's robotic. Sounds, beeps and bops, and then that would make it fun enough with just me dropping, and all I'm essentially doing is opening crates and grabbing loot that I can then customize stuff later on. But I feel like that would be enough, you know, that would be enough to keep me entertained. Each world, if it had a different theme, like a dinosaur, you know, world, and you drop there, you get different types of loot, you do different types of tasks, you got different types of enemies, and you build up each world. And then what they could do is release a world as an update patch. This is the next world you can invest. It's going to get a bunch of players coming back in to investigate that world, grab that loot, even if it's the same loot you get on this world, but like just packaged different, you know? And it would get people back to play the game just to see the new environments and fight the new bad guys and see what new guns and skins have been added to the game. Every, say, 6 months, a brand new world drops. People are excited for that. They know that Vanguard brings a new world every 6 months. Environmental destructibility would be good as well. Like when I shoot this rock, if I shoot it 5-6 times, it doesn't break into pieces or have chunks come off of it. It would be nice to add that in as well at a later date. My ammo's low, unfortunately. Boom. They do not take long to kill you, and as you just saw, yeah, 2 bots can finish you quite quickly. I feel like in the top left we should have a mini-map. Yeah, just a mini-map that shows just points of interest. Now here, I don't know if you can see like I can, but running this game at 1080p, maxed out settings pretty much, and you cannot see those bad guys very well. They're a very dull yellow. And again, this game doesn't have much colour, But these bad guys, look, if I do this, you can see them fine. But when you're running in, you can't really see them. I feel like a bit more colour could be added to the enemies. They are only bots after all. Okay, so where did we die? Somewhere around here? There's my loot. It's got my name on it. So now we have all this loot. What is the aim of the game? Can we extract? Should we do a contract? Okay, let's go see the bank. I'm pretty sure we can drop our loot off there. Sometimes this game looks really, really good. I would say this looks on par with like the latest Star Wars movies. The special effects in the latest Star Wars movies have been such poop that this actually compares to that. Let me just pop shots. The sound effects sound like you're on an old like shipping tanker. Like creaky metal. Oh, headshots are really important. They're doing way more damage. So we have heal now. Okay, cool. Just hit the button and away it goes. So what I was saying earlier, we need this, but shrunken up in the top left. Just as a little visual reference. It takes me 3 fingers on keys to be able to do this, plus mouse movements. Oh, my last life. Oh. So this is the second of the PvE environments. Now the PvE, like I say, is definitely up my street. I feel like they're kind of narrowing it in and locking it down to a good experience. Overall, the game's running pretty nice. We've had no visual glitches, no real problems. And it seems like they're getting their shit together now, which is really, really good. Like, I was excited for this game to do well. And it's something not just because I work with them now and again, but it's like I wanted to see a space shooter that is actually good. Because although Halo has your, you know, PvP on point, I don't play Halo because it's just the same every time. You know, every time I drop, it's gank on them, gank on me, get some XP, unlock some governs that you don't really want, and crack on again. And I rather have tasks and jobs and things to do than I would have, you know, kill cam or player of the game. You know, I don't care for any of that. What I care for is that I am putting my time and efforts into something that pays me back for my time and effort. I want loot that is worth having, and I want gains that are worth gaining. You know, I want to upgrade my guns, make my guns look different. I want to upgrade my clones. I want my clones to look epic. If I can get there in the end, then I'll put the time in. And as long as the loot is not being held back too much or behind a paywall or any of that silliness, then you can have my time. And that's the way that I tend to approach a free-to-play game. Otherwise, there's 50,000 other games we could be playing instead of your game. And that's where it's very hard to break the market nowadays. Like, a lot of games are coming out and within 2 years they're going dead, and I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with live service games coming out broken, unfinished and rubbish, and I'm fed up with games that come out that have a subscription based or a season pass service that just like shut their doors 2 years later. I put money into that, I put time into that, and then you shut your door and you bounce. Like, it's nothing. The player base might be small, you might feel like you failed, but at the end of the day, hand it over to the community then, or do something with it, you know. You know, when you shoot on something like Call of Duty, your bullets make an impact noise, and you know you get hit confirmed via what you're hearing. This game doesn't seem to have that. It feels very floaty, and I can't describe it really any better than that. Like, if I shoot this guy with one shot, it feels impactful, but again, I don't get a instant relay that I hit him. I make videos live, so the stream, I'm not a streamer, I'm a YouTube content creator. But I do it live because I like the interaction with people who do swing by. But the live stream itself is not essentially what I do. I just create videos live and then I just edit them up. So what I mean is, say like I shoot this rock, that doesn't feel impactful. It sounds great, it looks great, but it's not impactful. So if I say that was a bot in front of this wall, it makes no difference if I shoot the wall or the bot. It doesn't make any difference to the impact feel of that gun. So like on Call of Duty, if I sort of run in and I slide and then I start shooting at someone, I get like a hit confirm. So it'll be like blap, 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 and then it'll go blap, blap, blap. So I know those 3 hits, it changed sound, it changed marker. I can say, right, I hit them, right? So now I can guess how much health they've got, and I can run and take cover, reload, and maybe try my luck if I want. It really gives you that feedback of engagement when you play something like Call of Duty, when you get the little tap. It's just a little noise that lets you know you hit confirm somebody. 1, I don't think there should be bots on PvP, and 2, I think that hit confirming is weak on this game, because no matter whether I'm shooting the floor or a person, it has exactly the same sound effects, exactly the same feel. I'd like to have it more dramatic when you hit somebody, like really feel that impact. The game can make you feel like you're good even though you're not, then it wins. Like, it'll win every time. If you get 5 kills in a game and you're last on the leaderboard, but you had a blast doing it, like even when they turn to dust, that's a very weak effect. If I shoot them, maybe like their arm falls off, maybe if I shoot them in the legs, maybe their leg explodes. They're still going to turn to dust and disappear, but maybe once they've hit the floor, they turn to dust, not just turn to dust as if they fade away. And I understand it's a clone simulation, but once you're in here, technically the clones are mechanical parts. It doesn't feel mechanical, it feels mystical. And again, the bullets just feel like they travel through holograms. Even this, which I like, which is good mechanic, and even if they don't change it, I quite like it, but it would be so much more realistic and impactful if when I turn my laser on, it only allows me to like lock into that position. Then once it goes bang, I can then move my laser and lock into the, it's like I want it to snap to that circle. I want it to snap to that icon. It's like we're almost in a hole. Then you snap out of it, and maybe even have the gun have like a little bit of feedback to it when you get that explosion. You know, have the gun sort of pop back a bit. I keep using the word impactful. It's missing that. It's missing the extra mile. It's got the base game. Everything seems fine. It's visually pleasing, plays well. It just doesn't have the bells and whistles that are going to make it stand out. At the minute, I think there's about 10 free-to-play shooters that have come out just this year. I mean, what makes Vanguard stand out overall? Speaking on the real, you need more.
Just need more.
And that's the sad state of games these days, is that they want to release something half-baked so that it does well, so they can then develop it further. And if it doesn't do well, they abandon it. I feel like holding the game back as long as it takes to get it right. And like I say, just a double jump with a boost when I'm running around. At the moment, it's just so stiff and slow for the amount of environment I have. You know, you should have a slide. Then the 28th, we are having our own wedding vows renewed. Ooh, that sounds good, my man. Congratulations. You made it. It's nice to hear somebody that's actually married and continuing to be married. It's quite rare nowadays. He's going to shoot at me. I knew he was going to do that, and I'm in the middle of another page. Here we go. Again, a slide there would be awesome to get under that. That little bit there, we had to crawl slowly, or it could have been shot in the back there. And this, if I had a double jump and a boost, we could double jump and a boost over that. And it would just make the mechanics a lot more, and I don't want to keep saying it, but it would make it a little bit more like Call of Duty. And this is what people like. The masses play Call of Duty. The masses will not play Vanguard. You need to encourage people to see that Vanguard has something to offer by appealing to their easygoing nature. Now for me, I would play Vanguard because I love MMOs, I love space games. And I feel like something, especially as you get older, you tend to gravitate to these sorts of games. I mean, again, it's pre-alpha, so I give them a lot of headroom when we play. I have no way of defending myself. Run into 3 turrets. Stab one in the face. Now, imagine on full release that these will be crystals and shiny and glass. Okay, you can't jump and stab, which is a problem. Jump and stab's definitely got to be in there. 28th, you're renewing your vows. 20 years of marriage. Oh my days. 20 years and still going. What do you talk about? Lucky. He's not lucky. He's got skills. Iceman's. He's the dream. Whoa, I just noticed what's in there. That's minging. So that's a damaged escape pod with someone in it. That's interesting. Now that is a good little added thing. Oh, stop shooting me in the ass. As far as I can see, the servers are working pretty well. Like, we've only been halted for about 4 minutes in getting into a game. So I've got to head in, which is where the enemies are, but I don't want to head in, but I need to because I need the ammo. And now I don't want to go over there, even though there is a bunch of loot there. Do we take the risk? They're going to shoot me as soon as I approach. Here he comes. We'll duck it down and we'll try and stab him when he comes around the corner. One shot. Okay, that makes life a little bit more even. I like this. This is a fun aspect of the game right here. So then you have to defend it if you want to get what's inside. Sometimes it's not really worth it, but you never know till you open it. It feels strange not to have a handgun. Like, there's no secondary weapon. You've got your laser, which is to cut these things open, but you've got no handgun as a secondary yet. I banked 100 credits. Go up and over. So what do we think of the game to watch as a whole? Is it an interesting game? It's something that you guys are into, you know, let me know your opinions and thoughts. This needs padlocks and more of a bang every time I break a lock, which is understandable. You can see the grid shape on it and you can see that it's been added new, and again it's in alpha, so none of this is finished game at all. Now I have this game access until I believe the beginning of January. I'm not sure exactly when the playtest finishes, but I feel like more time spent in the game would be valuable, and maybe even a second follow-up video at some point if I get time, because we're very busy over the Christmas period. Just this week, for instance, is, you know, sponsor heavy. Can't wait for Christmas. Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. It's definitely approaching fast. Roast dinner. Yeah, we always have a roast dinner at Christmas. Gotta do. It's a British tradition. It does look good though. Look. Right, I'm gonna have to try and stab him. Boom. Oh, there's another one. As long as you duck it down low. Nice. Very stingy on ammo. I feel like the ammo could be doubled or even tripled in this game. What in the world is that? Whoa, no. I don't know what that is, but I'm going near it. It's huge.
That's what she said, I know.
Through the loot site to the safe. Let's bank our money because we might get oofed. Now I've got a new thing come up, which is clone death in 1 minute. I guess we've spent too long here. I'm not really sure. Again, the bank needs to be more prominent and it needs to be modelled. Obviously this is very basic modelling here. So I banked 298 credits. I cannot lose them credits. Like, I thought this game would have an extraction on the map. You know, like a ship that you have to get to. Being that we've only got a minute, I'm going to see what happens if I do this. Clone remotely terminated. Right, so I killed 18 bots or people and cloned used 1. I mean, that looked like we took that, but again, it doesn't explain it, so then you don't really know as a new player what you're actually doing. You have to fumble your way through it, which is a bit, it's not ideal that we have to fumble our way through this. They expect us to know what they're trying to tell us and what we're supposed to do. Even on an alpha, you expect a little bit more hand holding than what this game's offering. That being said, are we having fun? Yes. Is the game flushed out a lot more than it was on our first playtest? Yes. Is my review as mixed as it was? Kind of. It's a fun experience. I'm not bored, and I've been playing for now an hour and 15. We've done quite a lot in an hour and 15, to be fair. I want a jetpack so I can just double jump onto that container, so that if there was a PvP scenario, I can have some more options. I can slide, you know, give me a slide so I can slide behind the object, reload, double jump onto the top, back, take the man down with a headshot, oh, jump back off, reload. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have got none of that excitement in this game that you have in other first-person shooters, and you've got the other aspects that work really well. You've got the looting, you've got the laser beam. Do you know what I mean? It's really good, and it's a great idea, and it's implemented pretty well. Fun is there, but it's not amazing. Like, I want this game to be amazing. I want developers to do very well, and I feel like it's just not hype enough. What's the word? Lit. It just isn't there yet. If you stick to your script, sometimes you can't see further than that script. Is it going to be as fun, thick and fast, furious with, you know, all of the aspects that you expect from a modern day shooter? Yeah. Remains to be seen. I really want to see what this game ends up like in a year's time. I'm curious to see if it destroys itself or whether it takes on some criticism in a positive manner and manages to deliver something that is truly, truly amazing. You're lit. Well, I would play this game though. This is the thing. If you say I'm the perspective for it right there, then I would play this game. I just wouldn't instantly recommend or love this game. And I think they are definitely doing it in slow increments. When every time they release a playtest, we're seeing way more interesting mechanics being put in. Do you know what's amazing with first-person shooters now? The roadmap for first-person shooters is pretty much laid out. Like if you were going to make a first-person shooter, that would be very easy to follow any of the basic blueprints to make a first-person shooter. I appreciate the fact that the EVE guys are trying to do their own thing. They're trying to carve out their own little piece of a first-person shooter, and I fully support that. I support, even if it like hits some hurdles and has a hard uphill struggle, at least they're having a go and not just generically pumping something out. Like what we're seeing with Ubisoft at the moment, where their game came out, it was very solid. It played like Black Ops 2, but it was a generic blueprint. It was the copy and paste model, and it didn't do well. It didn't survive in the end. You know, I watched streamers saying how great this game is at the beginning of their sort of release, and I thought, you lying mother. Nobody believed that because it didn't have anything new. There was no clout to that game whatsoever. At least I can say that this game is trying to carve out its own little route. It's trying to do its own thing, you know. It's got its own body to it. It's got charm, is what this game has. It has character, and character goes a long way. I'm already on board. I just need to be wowed now. I need to see that wow factor. Then I can recommend it. You know, I can recommend it as, oh, when this game comes out, it's going to be banging. You need to pay attention to it. Can't do that right now because we're in early alpha, and, you know, the game does have a caveat here or there, 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4. It has so much potential, and it is an open map at the minute. It's an open book, and they can write whatever they want, which I want them to do. I don't want them to, you know, be those companies that seize up and say, right, well, we're doing this because we know best. It's stalemate between the player and the developer. And then it's like, oh, the developers don't listen to me. And it's all in the comments where the players turn on the company. We don't want that episode again. We've seen it before. Player never bodes well for anyone, players or company. It's just, you know, it's telling when they promote a game that then dies in 2 years and has no repercussion for its actions. Like Ubisoft don't really care that they killed off that game. And you've had 2 years of season pass money from people. You've had 2 years of views, 2 years of, you know, people wishing the game was better and telling them what they should do as opposed to what they have done. Again, the quick pickup mechanic has to be implemented in my opinion. Like all of this loot, I was running and that bot was shooting at me, but I cannot just hold E and pick up everything as I go. Like that is, it feels really off. You have to stop, look at the box, hold E, see if there's anything in them, and then if there is, you then collect that items as you just saw. It's long, you know, it's okay, but when you've got PvP and PvE together shooting at you and risk of being killed at any opportunity, you need your pickups to be wider ranged and a lot quicker. You can sort out your inventory as and when you go, do you know what I mean? Like, pick up a load of junk, sort it out when it's quiet. Smuggle, OP, command, center, main stealth. So that is the contract. Yes. 2 out of the 3 down. Okay, I'm not sure how long this ship's going to hang about, but I know that there is some loot rounds in that container again. So if we head down to the loot container, grab that and then come back. It's just basically a straight line. Shields are waxed. I tried to heal, didn't have time. Okay, so we're at the end of that mission. We almost completed a contraband contract. So where do we stand with the game so far? In my personal humble opinion, it is a really good game and it's shaping up so well. And I'm so positive compared to my first mixed review. This has come a long way. I feel like they have added things that are not just bolt-ons, not pointless items. They're actually worth doing. There's things in the environment that have like really come a long way now. It's solid. We didn't experience any glitches, no problems. The system I'm running is last generation but top tier, and it is definitely running super buttery smooth. But as a roadmap, I would love to see more character animations for my NPC. I'd like to see slide and double jump and boost put in. And by boost, I mean just a little jetpack, you know, just to sort of jump, boost, and then land. Nothing too crazy. When I'm shooting at someone, I feel like there's not enough parkour or versatility to give me an interesting firefight. They shoot at me, I shoot at them. It's you know, you've got shooting in shooting games. There's nothing new there. Little mechanics like that I would love to see in the game. But again, this is just my personal opinion of what I'd like to see in a shooter in general. And the chipsets are really good. I just wish they were instantly seeable as, like, I know they've got little colors on them, but like instantly, do I know which one is common, you know, rare, which one's going to do the most damage out of that set? Like if I've got 4 different types of ammo, which one does what damage? If I hover over them, I get a brief description, but rather than a description, give me damage stats, give me what the point in attaching this thing is. I want to see more accessibility for the beginner player. Like when they first come to this screen, I want like tooltips to the right hand side that tells them what they should do as their first 3 steps, where they should go, what they should play, what guns they should be using, what attachments they should be looking for, what is the actual point in playing the game, like when they drop, what should they be doing next, how do they extract, how is a successful mission completed. Tell them all of the info, but in little pop-up chunks as they go. I'm super psyched to be making a video for it and super psyched to be working with the team just to bring this to people's attention. It's way off being complete, but at the same time, it's very much a complete game. They're going to be doing a beta test after beta test, and they're going to be like really flushing it out, and I really back them for that. I have nothing bad to say about the game as such, because it's in alpha. There's a lot I can let go because of alpha, and I feel like by the time the game is fully flushed out and ready to go, we will be doing a final thoughts on it, and I will be criticizing it from a very harsh perspective. So I'm going to be wanting this game to be as good as I expect it to be. They have the resources, they have the team, they have a great backing online. We've got some good streamers, we've got some good content creators. They have no reason not to listen to community, no reason to make this game fail. It is a really awesome project, and I think they've done such a good job, even just bringing this to us. Going from a space MMO into a first-person shooter looter is a big jump. It's a big difference. There's a lot of adjustments there, and I imagine a lot of the team have had a lot of learning curves, but they seem to be doing a good job. And I would just say, stay on the track. You know what you're doing. We're looking forward to it as a community, and I think that the game itself is going to do good, and I think it's going to do well overall. So if you agree, then leave me a comment down below. If you don't agree, leave me a comment down below. Hit up the likes if you enjoyed the presentation, the video, the aspect of what we're doing here. We're taking it from a casual gamer's perspective. A game that they're creating, this could be something special. I have high hopes for this one. So thank you for joining me today, guys. You've all been amazing. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your time. If you're watching this on YouTube on a rerun, again, leave a like and let me know to make more Vanguard content. Have a great seasonal period. We're coming up to the seasonal period, and I wish you all the best, and I hope that Mr. Christmas brings you everything that you want. So till next time, peace out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.